Fedora Outlier LLC logo animation. Logo is burnt orange, reddish brown. The shape is a square with a white outer glow creating dimension. The letters FO are in the center of the square. The letters have a hand-drawn artistic appearance. Backdrop is black with light flares that appear then disappear. There is a transparent mirror image of the logo underneath.
I said, go get your wig. And they be like, yeah, so, I don't know what to say. But a slick back ponytail will do.
Yeah, definitely. Do I have to stay in this window during the interview?
Nah, you can see the window?
No.
No. I mean, let them, see what you look like. If you need to sit back or do whatever, I want you to be comfortable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
You ready?
Yeah.
Bannerman is the last name?
Yes, sir.
Let's go. All right, everybody, you guys know what it is. You know what it is. And if you do not know what it is, you are about to find out. Those are not gunshots. I'm telling you. You don't believe me? Not in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Not in the building, but crushing the buildings is Daria Bannerman. Daria, how are you today?
Hey, Vashawn, I'm doing well on this fine Wednesday evening.
What? Not Wednesday. What is it, like the 12th?
Yeah, it's the 12th.
Of October. That's what's up. We are here. I mean, unless are we not here? Are we here? We here?
We here. We in here.
We in here. So listen, most of the time I start with like middle school and high school and kind of how the person grew up. But with you and in talking to you, we got to talk about you coming into this world early and then start the story from there. So tell us when you was born, how you was born. Give us the clear picture on that.
I'll do the best that I can. I was born 1989, May the 27th, and I was born 1 pound 7 ounces prematurely. The doctors were like, "Oh, don't name her. You're gonna have to bury her. She's not gonna make it." All this other stuff because they're looking at the natural. And then like my family was like, "Oh no, not so," and they were like praying to God on my behalf, because it's very like fear-inducing. Like we're getting this prognosis that she's not gonna live. What are we supposed to do? You go to God, take it to Him, and He worked it out. What was happening supernatural was different from what was happening naturally.
Okay. Got you. And so 1 pound 7 ounces, little teeny thing, like little itty bitty thing with a heartbeat. And so you could literally be like, they could look and see like your organs and stuff, huh?
Oh yeah, I was that transparent. I could fit in the palm of your hand and I could see through for real. Yeah.
Any pictures of you during this time, or was that considered to be harmful for you, or?
I'm not sure, but if you were to see baby pictures of me, I like occupy the corner
of a shoebox in a top drawer. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. So obviously you've made it, and you did make it. So what was like the transition in the hospital like? They had to do what to preserve life, and when did you start to become normal and not see through and stuff like that?
Well, I would say they had to put me under incubators to give me the oxygen so I could breathe. They had to do eye surgery to try to reattach the retinas. Um, I had to go from hospital to hospital. So I'm going from Jacksonville to Wilmington to Winston-Salem, Durham, just all different places to try to like reattach retinas, do eye surgeries. I don't think I came home until like 2.5 or 3 months later.
Mm.
It's weird because like um there were people that didn't really know that I was blind until like 8, 9 months. So like my dad was the first to know, oh snap, she's playing, being a little almost toddler, running around the house, all that stuff, but she never looks anybody in the eye. Why
Mm.
is that? So they took me to eye doctors and found I was blind. But one interesting thing was I would always go to light sources. Like I could see light,
Hmm.
and I would always go to those sources when I was a little taller, almost toddler,
Mm.
crawling around.
So they didn't know with detached retinas that you couldn't see?
The doctors did. But I guess some of my family didn't really notice
Hmm.
because I was just doing what other kids did. Only thing
Okay.
was I wasn't looking at anybody in the face.
Huh. Okay. Wow. That's interesting. That is definitely interesting. So we are at 8 and 9 months. What happens after this?
Well, what happens is they find out I'm blind. At some point, they get social workers to help with the cost of doing all these surgeries, and I'm walking and stuff, but I'm guessing that's delayed. But I'm eventually walking around, going to Head Start with other kids and playing with those kids. And I went to two different elementary schools when I was like 5 and 6 years old. They obviously weren't equipped to even educate me
Hmm.
as a blind student. So I had to go to the Governor Moorhead School for the Blind, which is in Raleigh. Braille instruction. Huh? ¿Qué pasó? Oh, so like, so like, they taught me Braille when I was 6, but the person that was teaching me
Hmm.
was learning it herself. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that until I was an adult. My dad's like, do you know the person that was teaching you Braille was learning it herself? I was like, no, that was a no.
And she got a whole paycheck for it.
Yeah, she did.
Mm,
She did.
mm. Well, did you learn it from her, or did you have to get some supplementary lessons, or?
Before I went to GMS, I learned it strictly from her. But when I went to GMS, Braille instruction was 10 times better than that because the person teaching me obviously had a lot of knowledge in it.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was on and popping from then. Like once I grasped Braille, I was reading anything I could get my hands on. I think one time in school at GMS, I had read 45 books in 1 year.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. And they say readers are leaders, huh?
definitely.
You took that to heart. I got you. So did you do all of your schooling through GMS, or did you go to traditional middle school, high school, or how did that work?
Oh no, I went to school there from the time I was 17 until 19 years of age, so I was there for 12 years.
Okay. Okay. And so during this time growing up, being, I would imagine, completely blind, you've never seen before, what were like some of your dreams growing up? Like, what did you want to be or do or anything like that?
Well, my first dream was to be a teacher because I liked when teachers would teach me things, teach me how to do things, and be patient with me when it came to learning certain things. So I wanted to do that same thing. And then I wanted to be a musician because I sang a lot when I was a kid. Like I sang in church choirs
Mm-hmm.
and I sang from elementary school on to like high school.
Mm-hmm.
And now I just hum to myself a lot. I'm trying to work back into getting back into that just as something fun to do, something
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a music buff and I love music. And then I wanted to be a writer because in middle school I read a lot of different authors and loved how they could just put words together in like an artful way. And so I tried doing that with like diaries I'd write in braille, and then I would just transition to like short stories. Didn't like poetry as far as writing it, but then when an English teacher, I'll never forget Miss Wooten in high school, she had us do like an I am poem, and that got me into poetry writing.
Okay. So I know that you can sing because you didn't say sing. You said I love to sing. oh,
I can't sing now.
you can't sing now.
I don't think I can sing down. I know who can
Uh,
sing down.
who?
Kelly Price.
Oh, okay.
Timberland.
Them people right there. Okay.
Yeah.
So those are your favorite artists too.
There's some of my favorites, yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to really pinpoint because I
Sure.
like so many.
Okay. So no musical instrument outside of the voice that you fell in love with.
Um, I think I was in band um when I was in elementary and some of middle school.
Okay.
And so I played the alto sax and the clarinet, and I like the alto sax. One because I was better at it, um, and I just like how it sounded. I did try to play the flute for a short time,
Hmm.
but I could never master playing it.
Okay. Okay. I was just practicing "The Greatest Love of All" Whitney Houston on alto sax right before I called you. So yeah, saxophone is definitely my instrument. So I got
Oh
you.
wow, that's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. It's a real dope instrument. Since I can't sing, and I know I can't sing, I figured that'd be the next best thing. So it definitely worked
Yeah,
for
I bet
me.
you're good at that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting there. We actually have a concert coming up this upcoming Saturday, and I'll be opening the show. It's at the Lithonia Amphitheater, and so it's gonna be probably the most people I've played in front of. Would have done about 200 before. So yeah, looking at 300 to 500 people. So that'll be cool. Great experience, exposure, playing outside. But
Oh yeah.
yeah. All right. So no acting, none of that.
Well, I was in theater in high school. I want to say I started in middle school, but
Okay.
I did theater all throughout high school. I got this funny story. So we did this play called Oliver Twist, and I had to play this character, Mrs. Mann,
Yep.
and like she's this rich woman who works in the orphanage, trying to act like she for helping people that are in poverty, and she wears this ugly outfit, like it's this ugly skirt and ugly shirt.
Mm.
Like I felt like I was wearing two potato sacks. Um, but I won an award for playing that character.
Wow. Okay. So would you say growing up you had a pretty well-rounded, well introduced life, even as a blind female growing up in the Carolinas?
I would say so. I think going to GMS definitely helped because I was able to meet friends that were like me, and they went through some of the struggles that I went through. Knowing what it's like to feel like you're left out
Mm-hmm.
in in the family, like when I wasn't with blind people, uh, or people who are blind, or whichever one is like you always get these
Mm-hmm.
um, you get these reminders that you're not like everybody else. People play with you, but they don't always know how to,
Right.
and they don't know the struggles or even how to interact. So it's like at GMS, that's where I got my well-roundedness from, because I was around different people, different races, But they had similar experiences. Now, there were popularity contests like at any school, um, but for the most part, I think I had some camaraderie most of the time. Um, but I had a great support system with my family. They brought me up, knowing
Mm,
about the Lord and everything, knowing about His promises and everything like that too. So
okay,
yeah, I have a well-rounded experience.
got you. So, what about growing up, and when did you realize there is truly a significant difference between me and other people in the world, and this thing is not being able to see?
Well, I would say college, because when I went to college, you know, there aren't a whole lot of blind people around or people with visual impairments, really.
Mm,
Um, and so you having to advocate for yourself by yourself. No one knows what you need. You have to speak up. In social situations, people come up to you and speak, but there wasn't really that many friendships that kind of developed out of it easily.
mm,
Um, there was maybe one or two, but I did have some blind friends that went to school with me. One that I'm friends with for over 20 years, but I would say that college was the place where it was a significant difference because there wasn't many people like me there, and they're not having to get their books scanned, like bind and chop,
and biggest on the what? Mm. What college?
typos, stuff scanned.
Yeah. So, what college did you go to?
I went to the University of North Carolina at Pembroke twice for both degrees.
Okay. Now, what was the
Yeah.
degrees?
My first degree is like a Bachelor of Arts in English and I think theater, and then my minor was in creative writing. Fitting, right?
Right.
and
Right.
then and then I got my master's in social work.
Okay. So, do you work now?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. Where do you work?
I work at Acceleration, so it's a company that helps people with disabilities find employment.
Oh, I need to
Yeah, so I'm
connect
an
with
employment
them.
specialist. Yep.
That's my mission right there. I love to help people with disabilities find or create work that is meaningful, purposeful, and profitable. Is what I always say. So that is definitely exciting. Um, so I guess you run across very talented individuals, and do you see what their talents are and find a job that's best suited for them, or kind of how do you perform those job duties?
Well, you basically figure out what their goals are. In some of the documents, they have their goals in there, and so you do interview prep, or at least I do interview prep, and I try to figure out like what their interests are, what they've done in their past, to help them find jobs that relate to that interest. I give them encouragement because, as a person with a disability or disabled person, um, we know the statistics of unemployment that is very high across the board,
Mm-hmm.
and is I find it important to give that encouragement to show that there is hope that they will eventually be placed, because it is hard. You apply for job after job after job and don't get it. And I tell them, in interviews that, be confident in the skills that you have, be confident in your abilities. We know what society views us as and how they rank us, but you know what you can offer. And so, because of that knowledge base, reflect on that, reflect on the times, where you have used those abilities and put your best foot forward in these interviews.
Mm. So that's great encouragement, but let me ask you this. So, say prior to working there, what would your work experience be?
Well, I had a few little jobs. I worked shortly at Pender United, which was like this is a nonprofit company that helps people who are recovering from disasters.
Okay.
At the time I worked there, they were helping people who were recovering from Hurricane
Okay.
Florence that
Mm.
hit in 2018. That
Okay.
was a lot
Right.
because you had people that, they had never flooded before and now they lost everything, had to recover. Then I worked a job at a high school
Mm.
doing food service work for a short period of time because that was at like the start of the pandemic when people weren't working
Mm.
and homes needed food delivered to them. So I would help put the food plates and bags together, working
Mm.
in something like an assembly line
Okay.
style type thing.
Mm.
Yeah, it was a
Did you
fun
ever
job.
get? I bet. Did you ever get COVID?
Uh, Not to my knowledge, no,
Oh,
no.
okay. Okay.
I was fine.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, I caught it going home for Christmas, and then ended up giving it to several people in the family, and they were not happy with me. But I swore it was a cold. It was like the new COVID. You know what I mean? It wasn't the chronic COVID, but I thought I just had a cold,
Yeah.
and yeah, so it was crazy. It was last December, as a matter of fact. So they invited
Wow.
me to come back this year, so I should be back in the family again. So yeah, it was a thing, definitely a thing. So listen, I'm riding in the Uber, and people are always fascinated when you have a good spirit. I would imagine you're handsome and you smell good, and you think they think that they can talk to you. And so this lady was talking to me, and she was asking me all types of questions about being blind, and she was apologetic about, is it okay if I ask you, and just let me know if this is getting, too deep. And all she was doing is asking me, like, how do I do X, Y, and Z? So I was able to answer all of her questions, knock it out the park. She was so excited. And she stumped me with this question that I'm going to ask you, because there was no way for me to answer this question. So here
Okay.
is the question. If you have never seen and somebody says this is a red shirt, how do you depict the color red if you've never seen it?
Oh. You mean how would I describe it to somebody?
Yeah, how would you describe it? How do you distinguish it from other colors? How do you, know about something that is sight related, but being a visually impaired person?
Oh, I just look at it as like association. So like, when I think of the color red, it's like fire, like passion, um, things like that, blood. So
Mm,
it would just depend on like the shade of red. Sure it is. I wouldn't know how to depict that, but I know associations with a color, and so like I don't know. Like I think of blue, I think about the sky,
or the
blue
ocean?
jeans.
Oh, so you cheating. I could have did that. So it's like, oh, when I think about banana, I think of yellow. Oh, y'all are cheating. See?
SpongeBob.
Sponge, see, y'all are cheating. This is messed up. Now I thought it would be deeper than that, but yeah, I mean, okay, I got it.
Yeah,
So,
because I couldn't do it without the associations. Honestly, there would be no way for me to
see,
even
I'm
try
thinking it
to.
was superhuman, and I'm like, oh boy, I can't wait to ask her this. She's gonna
It's
enlighten
not
me.
superhuman.
No, and she like, oh, I get the red with the passion. So Valentine's Day, you automatically know it's
Yeah,
gonna be red, some hue of red popping out.
yeah.
I got you. I got you. Okay, so
Like the
not
pop.
that deep. Because what gets me, and everybody thinks that it's true, is they'll say, and they know it. I mean, they know it like the back of their hand. They say, yeah, because when you go blind or when you become disabled, all your other senses, they get like superhuman. And I'm like,
Uh,
no.
No, that is definitely not true. We
I mean, they
just
think I'm bionic or something. I'm like, no, you just have to use them more. Therefore, they get stronger, but no, they don't. We're not, it's Marvel DC Comics or nothing.
no, I'm not Daredevil. I got a funny story. So like I was
Right.
walking from one part of campus to the other. So I was going from UC, which is where the cafeteria and stuff is,
Mm,
back to my dorm. And so I had to cross the street. Well, I'm trying not to get run over. Like I have the right of way,
right.
but I'm like, I don't want to get run over. So I run across the street and there's this guy that's watching me and he's like, "Oh my gosh, do you ever call yourself Daredevil?" I was like, "No."
Yeah, and you probably at this point in life wouldn't be surprised, but it's like they're always looking. It's like, they just are fascinated because they're like, I want to see what this person does. And then you cross the street and they think you are the next thing next to Tom Brady almost. I'm like,
Oh yeah, like they just come out of nowhere. You're like,
right,
what, bro, what?
right,
How
right.
far were you watching me?
Exactly, exactly. So all through life, you've had this nickname, Kool-Aid. How did this name come about?
Well, I'll have to correct you by saying it wasn't all of my life. It's very recent. The name Kool-Aid is very recent.
Oh, okay.
Genetic me because every time she sees my smile, all my teeth are showing.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking dimplish. I got dimples and everything.
Okay.
So I'm smiling like the Kool-Aid man. So she's like, "Hey, Kool-Aid," and it just kind of stuck. Like all the people, um, all the co-authors call me Kool-Aid now. Uh,
Wow. Okay. Right. And you did tell me that. I just figured with a name like Kool-Aid, that is something that would be from childhood. Um,
yeah,
but it's like here recent.
it's very recent. I really love the nickname. I think it really fits me.
I would imagine. So did I was gonna say I agree, but I mean we haven't even met, so I don't know. I can't be like I agree and I don't know. But if it works for you, it works for me. So did you have a nickname growing up besides Kool-Aid?
Yeah, so I have a few, and these are the ones that my family members give me. So
Mm,
one is Dario. I don't know why. It's just something that I get called by my uncles. And
mm,
then one of my aunts, she calls me Dairy Queen. She's like, "Hey, Dairy Queen."
mm.
So that was another one of my nicknames. And then I
Okay.
have other nicknames. One of my friends I went to high school with, "Hey, Kristen." She called me Dare Dare.
Okay. Mm. Let's go with Kool-Aid.
Yeah, yeah, Kool-Aid.
Yeah, let's go with that. So how'd you meet Janetta?
I met Janetta because I was on Zoom with a Facebook group for blind people. And we were on Zoom having a social night, and she happened to pop in.
Mm,
Like we would start cutting up in the chats because it was all loud, and I would try to speak and couldn't get a word in. So I'm like, let me post my stuff in chat. So then
mm,
she was in the chat chatting with me, and then that's how we met. And then she invited me to join the Willing Workers because she asked about like what opportunities did we participate in that related to community service, and I told her my experiences of when I helped out when I was going to UNC Pembroke, um, you know, packing food bags for people who were going through Hurricane Matthew and then other experiences. And she was like, "Do you want to join the Willing Workers?" I was like, "Yeah." And so that's how I met her.
Why does everybody have that Janetta voice, man? It's crazy. You want to join the Willing Workers? It sound just like her. I'll tell you, everybody got the Janetta voice, all excited and stuff.
Yeah, she's definitely amped. I wish I had half her energy.
Right, right, right. So, a piece of this anthology is with you and your story. So, what was the name of your chapter in the book?
It's called Newborn Visions.
Newborn Visions.
Yes.
That is so befitting. Did you come up with that, or was it remixed by Janetta?
It was remixed by her. We actually tried to come up with a name for it together, and then she had come up with that, and I was like, I like that. I like that name, because it was a struggle coming up with my chapter name, at least for me.
Okay, okay, got you. And so I would imagine the your chapter in the book chronicles your life and the premature birth and some of the things that we've went over in the interview.
Yeah, it does. It talks about me being born prematurely and making it, and then feeling insecure about, if I belong in grad school because I'm a blind MSW student, and then making it through that.
Mm-hmm.
Then, in 2016, finding out that my light perception was on the decline, various things like that. Basically, how I've gone through trial after trial after trial, and how God has brought me on the other side of those every trial that I was in, because the word says, you'll go through trials and tribulations, but God is going to deliver you out of all of them. So yeah, that's
Okay,
what it's about.
okay. So we didn't let you get off several references to God and spirituality and natural versus supernatural and all of that. So what religion are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I am Christian.
Okay, got you, got you. What church do you go to?
My home church is Miracle Temple Deliverance Ministries.
Okay. So usually in today's time, when people say my home church, a lot of it is internet based at this point. You at
Yeah,
home?
it is. It
Yeah, you
is.
at
I be
home,
watching it
home.
on Facebook Live. Yep.
Get your popcorn out. We about to go to church. My home church. Yeah, my home church too. Bedtime Baptist, baby. No, I'm just playing. Gotcha. Yeah, we do run a prayer call every Monday through Friday at 6:30 a.m. in the morning, and that's good for people. We can't grow it no more than about 25 people, because who's getting up at 6:30 in the morning? I'll be like, boy, if you come at 6:30, there's gonna be a lot of people gonna miss them.
Oh yeah, it takes discipline to get up that early. It really does.
Yeah, I guess so. So, what was the process for you writing a book, being a writer and having degrees in writing and loving, the spoken word now and the written word? I mean, was it hard to write about yourself?
I think for me, a lot of times it is hard to write about myself, just because it's like, what parts do you share with people? And then you gotta decide, like, if you write this, what message do you want the readers to get? And so it was easy to say yes to writing the chapter, because I knew that this was going to be a project that would benefit people. But I had to, literally pray about what was going to go in this chapter. Usually when I write about things and I don't know where I'm going to go exactly, I do what's called like free writing. So that's like a technique where you're just writing stuff down. You don't care about grammar, you don't care about spelling, what I do, but like you just write ideas down and you leave it alone for a little bit, and then come back and decide what you want to include and piece everything together. So yeah.
Okay. So did you say you prayed over writing the chapter?
Yeah, I prayed before writing. I was like, Lord, please give me the word you want for this chapter. Like, what should I do? Which direction should I go in?
Okay. So did
I
you
just
pray
started
over this interview? Because we about to get into
Yeah, I
it.
did.
Okay.
I did.
Good. Okay. Because I'm about to hit you with it. All right. So give us something that's not in the book that you haven't told anyone that, will help someone. Something that you overcame that they're not going to find in the book.
That they won't find in the book that I've overcome. Let's see. I don't think I talk about rejection a lot. Um, but like I have gone through, a lot of rejection
Mm-hmm.
growing up. Like I said, feeling like you're different from everybody else. I would say to those that are going through rejection, like it does get better. Um, you will find your tribe. Um, the way to get past that is, just to, start loving yourself. If you're a believer, knowing who you are in Christ, going to scripture, and then getting that positive support system that can keep you grounded because, a lot of people have done a lot of things they aren't proud of because they were rejected trying to belong someplace.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they think they are with a crowd that, is for them and loves them, and down the road they don't. So, getting that positive support system, you know, knowing who you are and just loving yourself. Look at the good parts about yourself um, because you are worthy. I think that's one of the things that I would tell people about, just you are worthy.
Okay. That makes sense, and it actually took me to another spot that I usually take people, which is give them some empowering words that you wish you would have had during your most trying time. So I'm sure you have more to give. So what would you tell a person that looks like you that is going through something similar to you that helped you to overcome?
I would just tell them to really just love you, keep the fight going. Um, keep the fight going. Know that it does get better. Know that whatever dark place that you're in, you don't have to stay there long.
Okay. That definitely makes sense. And so the book, Right to Heal, did you go to DC to the book signing?
Yes, I did.
How was that for you?
It was really fun. I hadn't been on a stage like that in a long time, so it
Mm.
was like I was nervous at first, like, oh my gosh,
Since you were
um,
singing.
all these people.
Got you. Okay. And how was your trip? Are you generally, used to traveling outside of the Carolinas or?
Yeah, my mom and our friend, like, we took a road trip, so that was fun.
Mm,
So yeah, I love traveling. Traveling is one of my favorite things to do.
I got you. Have you interfaced with any like blind traveling groups, disability related traveling groups, anything like that?
I haven't looked into them deeply, but I do know that they exist.
Okay. Everybody keeps
Yeah.
telling me that, but nobody's looked into them deeply. So yeah, I don't know. Actually, the person who's supposed to be looking into them says, I don't know. I don't know. So I still don't know. But nevertheless. So yeah, listen, man, this has been great. How can they get the book and support you and what you're doing and the message that you're trying to give out?
Well, the book is on Amazon, The Rights to Heal. So WRITE in all caps, the number
Okay.
two in heal. And don't forget the in front of it.
Okay.
It's also on Audible now. I'm excited. Um,
What?
we are on Audible now.
Who read the
Um,
chapters?
the chapters in the publisher did.
Wow, dope.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
And it's also on Kindle.
Yeah, I like audiobooks.
Yeah.
Wow, that's dope. All right, I got 2 credits. I'm definitely using one to get this book right here. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So we got Dairy Queen, we got Dario. I guess he just didn't see the line on the A, so it was Dario. We got Daria. Kool-Aid Bannerman in the building. Daria, tell people how they can reach you and then give them one last word of advice.
Okay, so I'm on Facebook as Daria Bannerman. I'm on Twitter as Tenacious D89, which is weird. I am not a part of a rock band.
Yeah.
I just love Tenacious D.
Whatever.
89, because I am Tenacious and my first name start with a D. And on Twitter, not Twitter, I just went over that. On Instagram, I am Daria B89.
Okay.
Yeah.
All that. And give them one last empowering piece of your mind.
Well, I would just say, just trust God and he'll bring you through, if you are a believer, and just, really just love yourself, value you, realize that no matter what you're doing, whether it's writing, whether it's, helping other people with various things, being that listening ear, just know that you have something to offer the world.
And speaking of that, you guys know my motto, let's change the world, and let's change the world together. And it's been an exciting interview. I certainly appreciate you being on. Can't wait to post it. And I know it's some gossip, so I'm digging up the gossip. So one of them authors, girl, look, I don't know what it was, said they don't even really like you like that. So
really?
Yeah, this like what you call it? The reality show, Housewives of Atlanta. Now which one you think it is? Tell the truth. You
I ain't know nothing said it. I don't know.
Ain't know that they scared, girl. They scared Kool-Aid. They scared.
They ain't said it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what you talking about, cuz.
I was about to say, boy, because, I be trying to start stuff.
Oh, Lord.
But you had told me on the phone, you said there's one of them you don't like. Which one of them you don't like?
I did not say that.
Oh, you said that? Oh, man, I can't catch none of y'all. Y'all love each other. Ooh. Boy, if this is Seven Brothers, boy, we be there told him, I don't like him. I sold him. He's sitting up here looking at me and he can't see. Daria, it has been great. I certainly appreciate it, and you have a good one.
You too, and thank you so much for inviting us to be on your platform. I really appreciate it.
Not one problem. Bye.
Bye.
Light flares moving over a black backdrop. The word empowerment in orange, all uppercase, appears behind the flares. Underneath the word empowerment, in white lettering also behind the flares, is a mechanism by which individuals, groups, and communities gain mastery over their affairs. Light flares fade. A transparent mirror image of the words are also underneath.